The USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, with its $13.3 billion price tag, is the U.S. Navy's most advanced aircraft carrier and one of the most expensive military assets ever built. Its cutting-edge technology and future-forward design were intended to position it as the centerpiece of the U.S. Navy's fleet for decades. However, the carrier's high cost has raised concerns and garnered significant scrutiny, both within the military establishment and from external observers. Several factors contribute to why the ship's hefty price tag has caused such reactions. Firstly, while the $13.3 billion price is a reflection of the carrier's size, advanced systems, and capabilities, it's worth noting that the construction costs have been significantly over budget compared to initial estimates. Originally, the cost of the USS Gerald R. Ford was projected to be around $10.5 billion, but the final tally far surpassed that, due to delays, technical challenges, and unforeseen complications during the construction phase. These cost overruns have led to questions about the management of the project, and whether the U.S. Navy has been able to effectively manage the resources allocated for such a complex and expensive asset. One of the major contributors to the ship's high price is its cutting-edge technologies. The USS Gerald R. Ford was designed to be the flagship of the Navy's future, and its design incorporates some of the most advanced systems ever put into an aircraft carrier. This includes the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, EMALS Advanced Arresting Gear, AAGE, and new nuclear propulsion systems, all of which were developed to be more efficient, safer, and capable of supporting modern air operations. However, these new technologies have not always worked as planned. The EMALS system, for example, has faced technical failures, which delayed the ship's full operational readiness. The AAG used to recover aircraft has also experienced issues with reliability, further delaying the carrier's operational deployment. These issues have raised doubts about whether the cutting-edge technology is worth a significant investment, especially when compared to existing technologies on older carriers that have proven more reliable. Another concern surrounding the price tag of the USS Gerald R. Ford is its long-term operational costs. Although the carrier is designed to reduce operating costs through automation and improved efficiency, the maintenance and upkeep of such a highly sophisticated vessel is expected to be expensive. The complexity of its systems, combined with the extensive training required for its crew, could result in higher-than-expected operating expenses over its lifespan. In addition, because the Ford is the first in a new class of carriers, the U.S. Navy is still refining its operations and maintenance protocols. Some have raised concerns that these unanticipated challenges could further drive up the carrier's long-term costs. The debate over the Ford's cost is also compounded by the fact that many of the ship's core systems have yet to fully prove their worth in actual operational conditions. While the Ford's stealth capabilities, automation, and technological upgrades are impressive, they have not yet been tested in the real-world operational environments that the U.S. Navy faces in the decades ahead. Some critics argue that spending $13.3 billion on a single carrier, especially with the technical challenges it has faced, is an inefficient use of taxpayer dollars. With potential rival powers such as China and Russia investing heavily in their own naval and air forces, there is also a broader question about whether spending on aircraft carriers remains the best strategic investment for the Navy moving forward, or if the future should focus more on unmanned aircraft and smaller, more flexible naval assets. Additionally, the Ford-class carriers are expected to replace the Nimitz-class carriers, which have served the U.S. Navy for decades. While the Ford-class brings much-needed technological upgrades, critics argue that the Navy has already spent vast sums on new technology that may not ultimately meet the operational needs of the fleet, especially given the evolving nature of global naval warfare and changing military priorities. The $13.3 billion cost of the USS Gerald R. Ford is not just about the size of the vessel or the advanced technology it incorporates. It is about whether this investment will lead to tangible benefits for the U.S. Navy in terms of mission effectiveness and global military presence. While the ship's capabilities are groundbreaking, there is still debate about how much of the technology is truly necessary for the Navy's evolving needs, and whether those technologies can meet expectations over the long haul. In conclusion, the USS Gerald R. Ford's $13.3 billion price tag has sparked serious questions about the efficiency and effectiveness of military spending. The carrier represents a leap forward in technology and capability, but its cost overruns, technical challenges, and uncertain long-term operational costs have led many to reconsider whether such a large-scale investment is the best use of the Navy's resources. While the Ford is undoubtedly a symbol of the future of naval power, its struggles with delivering on the promises of next-generation technology make its overall cost a topic of continued debate in both military and political circles.